Guys, welcome to this amazing episode. This is My Superstory Podcast. As you can see, we're outside. I'm here with my amazing friend and sister, and we're going to discuss the creative life of a creative. Get it? So, without any further ado, I present to you the amazing, talented Rukie Jumaah. Hi, Rukie. Welcome to my podcast, sis.
So much for that.
Thank you for coming. Do you know that you were the first person I told when I had the idea of starting a podcast? So for me, this is like a green light moment that we're gonna have a conversation today. So I'm really excited having you today. You're welcome. So today's super story, why I felt like I needed to have you on this amazing couch, is because we need to talk about the creative industry, right? Particularly for like females, and where we represent like the northern culture and whatnot. So I'm going to follow you up with some questions, but I want you to just like, tell us your life, girl. I already know some things, but let the others just find out for themselves. So tell us about yourself, Rukie.
Yeah, so my name is Rukie, actually. But then my brand name is Rich.
The kid.
My is my surname.
Her.
Yeah, and I'm a photographer. Yeah, mostly fashion photographer. A project design app. I have a living grant. And then I have the production company, Randa and the shows. Yeah, so we just handle production. So we do campaign, set designs, scouting.
So guys, for those of you that don't know, I actually met Rukie was my boss at a point. That was so funny because I met you through a mutual friend, and at that time I was in my final year in uni, and I was trying to get into that creative space. So when I was like, I want to work for a modeling company, but not necessarily as a model, but just to get like the talent agency aspect, you were the person in charge of the photos and the modeling, like the scouting that you're talking about. So I know a bit about what you do, and then now that you've given it like a playground, I like it because there are a lot of people watching this now, and they have that creative side, and there's always that debate between what you study and what you're doing. And like I said, we're all representing our culture, where we're from. Like, we're just living our lives and doing what we like. So it's just very important that we make sure that the honesty is 100. So you are not allowed to keep any information to yourself.
I'll try my best.
Okay. Thank you. So Rukie, tell us why photography? And I like how you said fashion photography, because with the fashion photography, people don't usually know that there's a difference. Spoiler alert, guys, like I mentioned, that we're going to be outside, so there will be some noise that will be interrupting once in a while, but I hope you understand. So coming back to the conversation, so why fashion photography? What's that about?
So to be honest, as in photography just came to me. I didn't know I was in things being busy until I finished school, served, and was home for a while. Why fashion photography? So I do other photography, but my niche is fashion. Like everybody knows me with fashion, so that matters. And because my whole life has been about fashion. Like I've been into fashion for longer than I've been into photography. So and it's only normal for me to like seek out the interest of the fashion.
Yeah.
And it's just something that resonates with me, so that I really well.
Yeah.
I love fashion.
I mean, the drip doesn't lie. The drip doesn't lie.
And probably because why I became serious with it, because in the industry, like it's almost like as a fashion photographer, there's a limit, or people say you can't make money or earn anything doing fashion photography. It's supposed to, or creative photography to be precise. They feel like, even in the industry, but I've seen photographers that have interest in like fashion and move into other sense, because people don't really,
They still like the play.
they don't see beyond the creativity, so they go for like weddings and portraits.
Because I think that's maybe also because of the societal thing. I think how we are in our society, because you can't compare that to like Europe, where they take like fashion photography like serious.
But the funny thing is, the fashion industry is and lucrative, but people don't know, like So I think that was one of the things that really inspired me to go into that. Of course, I already said that I was interested in fashion. Obviously, that's what my eye sees, and that's what I love to create mostly. As I started to like do it, and then I started getting like my clients, and I understood that okay, there's a whole fashion community that people don't even explore, because one funny thing is you can do one fashion job, like 3 hours, let's say a day fashion job, and earn what another person is earning for like 3 days with. But okay, you can say it doesn't come as often. I mean, there are so many ways.
It's only people that know the value. That's why the value is very like high. Because I'm really sure, like, as people are listening to this episode, they're already checking out your Instagram and they are already going to see that. Wow, and that's Rukie Jumah, by the way, on IG. We'll put all the details after, because when they see your work, then they'll really understand what fashion photography means. Because the issue is that when people hear something like fashion, the person that comes to their head is clothes. That's where it stops. So they don't know that it goes beyond that. Like, fashion photography is all part of fashion. Like, so I really like this how you said you started with fashion. So we have to go back now to your interest. You mentioned that it was when you were done with school that you were even interested in creating
photography. All fashion actually. They're here fashion in one of new school. I bought my friend's sewing machine.
What like?
So I was sewing for myself. Okay, I would see. I don't brag, but I would say I'm a like really creative person. And I get really bored. So I like to try new things. So how it started was I would have a piece and I would be like, if this dress was just like this or like this, it would look nice. So when I buy dresses, I wear it once, twice. I cut it off to take something out of it. And then I just picked it up. Then I started making my receipts. And then I bought obviously I bought the machine. And then my friends would give me like things to make for them. And that was how the interest grew.
Where you say school? Where was school?
International business with that.
So you school? Okay. So business was what you actually studied in school. Guys, I know that, but you don't. That's why. Wow. So now your degree, does it have like has it impacted you like on your? Have you used
some decisions? Yeah. Well, I mean, I am business and I'm doing business. People see creative as okay, it's just creativity, but it's business. Yeah. So you have to take it as. I mean, the business is we. So yeah, I think so. Because I even had my master's.
Master
in business as well. I don't think I'm using it as much, but but then I mean I would say core businesses that actually are successful.
When I say you're lazy, can you have a business and live? Well, because when you're saying, because it happens. Because, like, you're only lazy for other things that you don't care about, but things you're passionate about, you won't even know you're working for. You won't even know you're doing this. You won't even know that you've been under the sun or you've been sweating for hours. Oh, my goodness. Rukie, you have masters. What?
Or you?
I didn't know that one, guys. I'm also just finding out. So another thing is that this entire story of what we're trying to discuss is in respect of, like, the person that wants to, like, get into the creative space, particularly from people from our side. And if you know from our side, like being Muslim, being Northern, and guys, here's the shocker. Rukie is married. That's the shocker. So, you are doing us wario sha. If we will go to the streets together, we've got a job, not knowing that you are doing this thing behind the scenes. But yeah, like this entire concept, you know, like the entire thing about the Northern culture. And I mean, we have to talk about it because you and I were both from the North. Like, how was that like possible for you to navigate, especially with like family? Like, can you tell us a little bit about like your family background and how the journey was?
Okay. So this is days about shopping. Well, I'm actually from like a proper northern Hausa stable.
I can relate. So
And I mean, how I was brought up. See, I don't even know how my brain. And I would say like among all of my siblings, I'm like the
rap anthem.
yeah. So if you see you've met my sister. They're all like proper Malobi. So it's a thing. I don't know what happened. The pill, but still, yeah. So it wasn't easy to be honest. It wasn't easy, cause even when I started, before I started photography, actually, I had a friend, and the friend was like, "Oh, that, they are going for one photography class, PKH."
That was the foundation now.
This is the foundation.
Ah, nice.
Any knowledge of photography. So they're like, "Oh, PKH class," and then I saw it. And as at that time, I was doing my fashion, like small, but I just needed to do something. Like, I was just cool. And I mean, if you are from the kind of family I am, you don't want to be at home.
Yeah.
You just want to have something going on. So I went for that class. As in, I went to that class not knowing anything, not even thinking that I was actually there to be photographer. So I just went for the class to like while in time. If that makes sense.
But yeah,
For vibes, exactly. So I went to the class, and then first class, second class. After the first week, I realized, because as at that time, like the only thing I knew about photography was to be people. Yeah. So when I went to the class, I was like, so you mean there's something like, and it's like photography is actually, and I mean, he brought other photographers from Lagos, like friend people. I saw their work and I was like, wow. So this thing is actually a thing. Like, if I hadn't come to this class, I wouldn't be this exposed to this world, because I mean, we close ourselves in like such a little that we don't even know that there are so many things going on outside of those walls.
yeah.
So after the class, funny enough, that class did to me, it just opened my eye and she danced. But it didn't make me want to do that.
You're just like, oh, that's talented. You got stars.
And then after I started liking dance shows and everything, then I think 1 year I went to the class in 2017. Yeah. Yeah, 2017. So after the class, I was doing my thing for like a year, over a year. Yeah. And then one day, my friend, Randa, called.
Shout out to Kids.
She just called me out. She was like, you went for a PKH class.
That's actually something she can say.
Can you come and take pictures of me at my graduation? And I was like, okay.
So that was your first.
Yes.
Kids.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this thing. No, I don't went for the class, but I'll try. So I got with my dad's camera, because I didn't have a camera.
Yeah.
So my dad has cameras.
Like, he's not a photographer.
Mind you, that class, I used to sneak to go to that class.
What?
Yes, he didn't know I registered for that class.
Was he a photographer? Is he a photographer?
Well, he had it because he was broke. Like,
Before married.
yes, before marriage and everything. So he loves pictures.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And that was part of the reason why I hated pictures. Because my dad loved pictures so much.
And there's a way they can like things and
Yeah.
just, wow.
So like even that class, it was just my mom that knew. And when he knew about it, he stopped me completely. He was like, hey, Kofo,
What?
I'm not going to be a camera woman. That's his friends to say. Blah, 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 blah.
Camera, what?
And guess what?
Fraud.
Last year, was it last 2 years or last year? I won something with Nikon, the camera brand. And they sent me like some gears from the US.
Murder.
And I brought it home and showed my dad.
What's already like this?
Someone that said,
Camera woman.
Blah blah blah. So like I was actually sneaking to go to that fund. Yeah, even after I finished it, like, I can't do it. I mean, I would determined,
Yeah, because that's where the fight now really starts. You're not listening. Go and walk.
So she called me to take her graduation pictures. I took the pictures, and then after taking the pictures, I didn't know what we, because I didn't like.
It's just snappy.
I'm being very very honest. I didn't know what to do with the pictures because I haven't shot anything. Like in the class, I think we just had one photo walk. And that was how I knew I had it in me, because we had one photo walk. I didn't even have a camera. I think I was the only person that didn't have a camera.
Was waiting for vibes.
Yeah. So like we went for this documentary photo walk, and then we took pictures. And so after every class, they do like an exhibition, and my picture was like the first to be sold. Yes. And I just took it.
Somebody that came for vibes.
Yeah. So the person that even asked for the picture even asked for my contact, and then she called me. She's an art collector. I think she is in atheist, but then she comes into Nigeria. So she called me and she was like, that this image is so nice. What inspired? I was like, I don't know what inspired. I just thinking. I think that was where I kind of knew that okay, it could be a talent. So, because I mean, I wasn't even trying. Yeah, I didn't even try, and this was the result. So that picture, back to the graduation picture, when I shot it, I didn't know it was that age. I was calling people from the class, people that were already big. But this is what can I do with the picture? But I even paid somebody to teach me how to because of that picture, and person just did something that I didn't understand. That day, when I called the person was like, and I should go and do what I was doing with the picture. So from there, actually, that was why I started shooting. I was like, okay, I actually want to do this, and this person that told me this thing, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to be bigger than this place.
The man, come on, I like that.
So that was when I started shooting with that camera. But mind you, the camera is just like an entry level.
And that's your dad's camera.
Yeah.
Wait, he didn't even know you were using.
He didn't know, but later he knew.
Yeah, but that time.
Later he knew, and he was like, okay, how can I use it? Blah, blah, blah. Just for fun. So I started shooting, and then decided to open up my studio.
Yeah. That was big, yo. How did you get to that studio? Like, renting?
It's funny enough, to say, yeah, it didn't take long. Okay, so when I started shooting, it was just too stressful because I had just started and I didn't really think that I was good. I don't even think I started posting. It was just, okay, when someone sees a work I did for somebody, they say, okay, they recommend me to the person. So I started doing it and then renting studio spaces. But it was so expensive because I just started. Somebody will book me for shisa, maybe pay me 15K. The studio is charging me 10K. So like it was almost like free. That was how I was shooting. And then, I mean, I had some money then, so I was like, since I want to do this thing, I'm like, since I want to do this thing, I'm going to have my space, so I don't have to. So at least I know that thing is not limiting me from creating. So that was how I opened my space. And okay, while I was experimenting, I met another photographer, IEB. So, and he taught me editing. And then when I opened my studio, there was like part of my sale.
Aww.
From there, I built it and used RIG Studios, which is a bachelor, a Juma.
This is literally like a story of vibes that literally evolved. Because I want to now start, like, how did your parents know when you opened your studio?
Yeah, they do. No, actually, I paid for it because I didn't even want any negative vibes. So I went to it, I hunted for space. After I got somewhere, I have a mad studio right now. Thank you. After I got the space, I paid for it, and then I brought the what did he call it? That contract and everything in. And then I told my dad that, okay, I have a studio now. Then he was like, wow,
but they did have
blah, 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 blah. And I think he refunded me the money. I gave me money out.
See this one? That means you got it. That is your
buy more. Well, no, as at that time it was already.
Yeah, because anybody would have thought that was really a boss scheme, you know. Going straight to like have your own studio, that's mad. Because you just went and so yeah, I'm sure like thank God it really worked because like your dad was not like supportive, like she's really serious.
Yeah.
And it's how many years?
So that's the thing. If you have an idea, you have to show people that you know what you're doing before they even believe in you. It's nobody's fault if they don't believe in you, to be honest.
Can be.
Because people cannot believe in what they don't see.
Yeah.
So you need to actually prove a point so that people don't even have a choice but to accept and support you. Yeah.
That's literally how you went about it. How many years are we speaking of?
I officially started 2019. I think, yeah, late 2018.
This is like 5-6 years now.
Yes.
Yes. Come a long way, Cause like you've done like amazing projects. Can you tell us some of your favorite gigs that you've done that like this industry that you decided to like explore? Like, can you tell us some of the opportunities that came your way?
You mean like brands that?
Yeah, like some of the things that like in exploring like those good things that came to you because of
being skills. I told you about the Nikon brands thing, and from there I became a member. I think I was one of the first members of Black Women Photographers. Black Women Photographers, yeah. It's a group of Black women photographers, and they are based in the US. And I think the founder works at the White House now. So like, it's a proper community for Black women. It's a proper community for Black women photographers. So I mean that's because they are supportive. They give out brands and all of those things. And obviously, I'm getting to work with brands that I never imagined. Yeah, fashion brands that I got from soirees. And when they were launching in Nigeria, I shot their thing. Well, a lot of, people have booked me outside of the country.
Yes, speaking of other one. Because you started traveling out.
Fashion job.
You see, we have a dream, just follow you.
Just follow it and know what you're targeting. Because if I just sat down, I was like, okay, I don't want to be creative and I want to do what everybody's doing. People would not really see that in me to think that I'm what they're flying out. So because it's not like they have photographers in their country. Yeah, so it's just knowing what you want and going for it regardless.
Oh my God, I love that. And you know what's so funny? You don't give that vibe.
I get very laid back.
Very lazy. Like,
I don't like stress.
Yeah,
I don't like stress.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody can handle it.
Boy, it comes to work.
That's when you see. Because I've definitely seen you in action, like in a lot of times, and that's very inspirational, And that's literally look at it, like it's even coming back to like the day I just told you about. I want to start a podcast. What should I do? And then you're like, okay, just do this, just do that. Why not just follow the advice? Sit now. So honestly, like it's really about
starting. Starts with hiccup.
And I like the fact that you have involved your life around that. So now, okay, coming back to like the major deal breaker in the North, you're married. That's shocking you. I would never forget that phone call in my life. Where you were just like, yo, I didn't believe you. I didn't with you. And you guys know what's so funny? Where we're actually shooting this episode is literally around the same area where you had your wedding dinner.
Yeah.
So it's literally like you, like the time me and you were here, it was your wedding dinner, and now we're here, we're right.
True. Do you know the funny thing is, there was a client that I work for, like, she's my client. I've been working for her. Then I think we did a job last 2 weeks or so, and the woman was like, "Wow, I do everything," because whenever she's looking for something, she just calls me, and I have a plug. She was like, that I do everything. I need to tone it down. Because when I get married now, I was like, wow, now I'm married though. I've been raised. It's not everybody is something about. I was like, what? Let's be that. You see, how do I do this? I'm married. Let's stop it. She was not asking. That was when she now started asking me, am I married to a house? And I was like, no. It's not. She was like, hey.
Sometimes I'll not.
Yeah, because
you can't be out there.
And again, because, I don't cover my hair all the time, but I cover my hair sometimes. And most of the time that I've walked with her, I cover my head. So she sees me as like, oh, this proper northern girl.
Yeah.
And she was like, that she just didn't believe that a northern girl, because she's also from the north, but a northern Christian.
Yeah.
So like she just doesn't believe that a girl from the north, like a northern Muslim, was actually married.
That stereotype, we're going to break.
Yeah. Especially because I do production, and production involves a lot of presence.
Yeah.
Like you have to, like, you need to go up and down and everything. So, yeah, people just feel like, oh, we get married, you have.
Because I want to ask, if you get that a lot, you get that, oh, wow, your house, wow, you're supposed to be, how is that possible? I don't know why to keep asking that, but I hate that question so much in my life. And I always come across that every, wow. You know, the funny
thing is, I don't hate that person. I really like it. I want to, I don't know, I want to be identified as the Hausa Muslim girl. I don't know if it makes sense.
Yeah. My own issue is when he comes with the critic, like, hey, so people like this, hey, are you sure you're, and they'll not be asking you, are you sure you're married? After you said you're married, we'll not be like, are you sure? Because now this is literally why I brought up the topic, because we're like, somebody just asked you this 2 weeks ago, and you can't know if you married, but then madam, I'm already married though. And then she's like, hey, because see, is he outside? Like that entire stereotype about like relationships. So it's not wrong.
Let's be honest, it's not wrong. Because how many northerners, and to be honest, I was married to, well, I've always known that I was not going to be married to a Hausa. Well, to be honest, if I was married to a Hausa man, I don't think I'll be doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I feel like most of them, well, I don't want to attack Hausa people, but yeah, I just don't think I would be doing what I'm doing because it'll seem a little too much for them. Yeah.
Because because of the way we use, obviously we're trying not to generalize, but the truth is that we know what we're talking about. Yeah.
We actually know.
How many Hausa guys really allow you marry and they will not be doing?
And for me, my kind of job, I travel. Who will allow you? Who allow you to exactly travel, outside work, come back, go out to shoot, stay late at night. Sometimes they won't spend the night there. So it has to be somebody that is. Well, there are some Hausa people that.
Yeah, because at least I would say like because like at least I know my family, like my dad allowed my mom to flex. Well, like at least flex in the sense of like her career wise. So the important thing is always just having somebody that wants to promote your career. Yeah. But when you now want to get into that creative space where like the exposure is more, it's not like 95 now. Let's talk about your husband. Tell us about that love story. Rukie, how are you doing relationship? Yes, no. Did you marry from this guy? Did you just drop? Why do you like doing that guy?
He's not hard.
How did that happen? Like how? Because
just friends actually, and he scammed me because he did not know that I'm always busy. I'm all about like I have fun, but he came to me. I think he had a project.
So this is the intro, like how you guys.
So, but I had known he knew me. Yeah, and I had known his brother as well. His brother is also a photographer. Both of them have a studio together. He's a geographer. So, I don't know. He called me. I was like, oh, that he has this project he wants to do. And it means my help and whatnot.
So this is the younger brother.
That.
Oh, he called me. He was like, I have project.
As a project. Well, so from that project, so I don't know. Till today, we've not done that.
So wait, when he said, you're teaching some guys something because
you can't get that you can get to me if I'm not like mutual with you. I don't know how
to Trust me, I 100%.
So I mean like that as well. If we were not even friends, there's no way that I've actually transitioned.
So that project, he came. Then what did we talk about?
On it from there, my day. I don't know now, man.
This actually still makes me laugh because I like, I can never, like, you guys, we all know we have that one friend that's like relationship. I beg, like, Rukie was like, out of everybody, was like, guys, I'm getting married. I said, married to what? That was I was like, married to what? So that's how I literally, were you ready for marriage too? So like now that turns, so did you feel like, now and personal question, did you feel like you needed marriage to run away from the house? Not running from the house, but like to have that like to have that experience.
And that was one of the major reasons I got married. I'm not even going to lie about it.
Trust me.
No,
I understand.
I wanted
Honestly.
to marry my husband. Though.
Yeah.
That was like,
Well, that's how you know
that was
time.
what was pushing me, because before I got married, to be honest, I never saw myself as somebody that was married and settled, because I just felt like I just had too much going on, and I don't know, it just happens. That's why they say when something wants to find you wherever you are, yeah, and either ways you'll be ready. But that was actually one of the reasons. I don't know why they pressure people into getting married like that. It's crazy.
You were having so much pressure.
I was having so much pressure. And
Parents, people panic when they see that you're always going out. Is that you're going out, you're working, or you're doing some real life things, like you have serious things going on. But then because you're always going out, it's not looking like she's going to.
in fact, there was like that time, my stepmom was like, "This is my car. You know that my Ford. This is my car. Big Dad should stop driving this out, so I will not find husband."
Hey.
And I told her that I'm not looking for a husband that will be threatened with my car.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a husband that will buy me. Why would that, like, if then you're not even,
just not. Why should you even? Is that even normal?
that pressure is,
That's really
was one of
traditional.
because it really held me back. Like, I couldn't do a lot of things, especially that because I had curfew.
Yeah.
I could not travel. Like, if I wanted to travel, almost I need to explain down to the details. So it was just stressful. So yeah, and that actually was one of ours. I mean, you can never be ready, but you can get ready.
Yeah, because like the point now is like when, man, it was just like God just intervened ASAP, because the moment you were just like you want this and God is seeing everything is, and then your husband, how is he like is he the opposite of what we're talking about, or like how's the vibe like? Yeah, because like sometimes like did you think that this is somebody that will allow me be myself? It's so like
Like I said, he's also a creative. So
Yeah.
we worked on projects together. Even before we started Github, we worked on projects together, and I mean,
is he very well working by like he has said.
if I'm working and he's free, he comes on set.
Yeah.
And then now, like, I don't know. So obviously you would know that, okay, this is somebody that actually like understands. And I mean, it's easier if the person is in the same career path, because the person will understand what you do and they'll be able to like support you.
You guys complement each other so well, like you're so crazy, and it's really like very admirable. That's how I had. There's really a man everywhere for a woman. So I'm waiting for my own. Just wait for that idea. So yeah. So no, we've spoken about the entire topic of like being a northerner and being a creative and like going towards the aspect of marriage, and because it's such a big deal, some girls, even though, because now you've done it, so it's easier to just about. But as of the way you had no idea who your husband was going to be, it was not funny. That's what some people don't understand. It's not funny.
Like, your parents are going to die the moment you get married.
And that's why the fear of like, that's not what causes the fear of, I'm not ready for it. Like my head is in the game. Because I really understand what you mean by like when you are like having things going on for you. Like, I don't even have time, because you just want to put yourself in one kind of emotional roller coaster that you're not up for. But somebody that's already prepared, that knows what he wants and what he's looking for. When it's fine with this, that's why I need to pray for what he wants. I'm about to try to build amen and but the men are. You just show me the page of the Quran that you read, so that I'll tell you the time you were waking up for, and after that, then I'll do the same time.
Sometimes people know, like, I don't know. I feel like if you want something, you kind of position yourself in a place that you attract that thing.
Tell me about it. How do you position? Just show me the position. Let me position myself. Like, I think it's the way you're doing your work.
Like, people say, like, oh, I'm getting, oh, let me just settle. There's somebody for anybody, to be honest. Like, I know this because I've had a lot, just the way you're saying, I had a lot of people say, that I'm so lucky, this my husband, he was just meant for me.
Yeah, so
We meant each other. So I feel like there's somebody for everybody, but as long as you're patient, meet that person. And there's no need to rush, because once you're married, you marry forever.
that's her.
Like, for life. So there's nothing like, oh, it's too late or anything. I mean, like, that's what some people do, and then they end up with like
of a situation.
The hands on just managing.
Fuck of video. These are managements. No. Because I mean,
you know, from when you're dating somebody, you know the kind of person they're going to be. You can't say, I didn't know that you're going to.
I didn't know.
Exactly. They were going to restrict me from doing my job.
Is that even supposed to be a thing? I can never understand. But yeah, no, yeah,
Especially with values are different.
Yeah.
And you can't say, okay, because this person does not. There are people that don't want their wives to work.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
But then you now need to find somebody that does not really, yes, that does not mind.
Not that you require.
Yes. If you know that you cannot live that life, then there's no need to go into it and say, oh, you want to try and change things, or you start getting an idea.
So what do you think is the secret to that? Because you know that thing is really serious. If we are like in that creative space and like, oh, I want to be a photographer, or no, I want to be something that my parents don't understand. Not even though I really don't understand. And then you're not like, goes to that point that you're like, they've dictated you. Some have been dictated. When I say dictated, like, yo, the pressure is crazy. When the pressure is, there's this good man, it's da-da-da-da. You don't go and marry anyhow, you just find yourself anyhow, you not be very sad. So even for people in that position, before they get in, or people that are still in that position, what's just that vibe that you just say like, oh no, how can you just like make it as like?
I like, I know it's hard, but try to make your parents understand. Like I said earlier, you need to prove to them, because okay, for example now, while I was still like before I got married, when I was still in my father's house, I used to cover up here. I wear my trousers and they complain about it too, because that is banned in my family. But like,
Yeah.
I dressed the way they wanted me to dress, and I was doing things, and they could see the results. So they understood. I just made them understand that, see, I'm not doing anything bad. Do you understand? I'm not doing anything bad. And this thing you're seeing is even better than, because trust me, your parents actually want what's best for you.
Yeah.
They don't want you to go through that route because they feel like you're not going to have a good, like you're not going to make money. Let's be honest, because they see it as, this one wants,
So your dad said camera one.
yeah, this one wants to be a model. There's one being what. So like you need to make them see reasons why. You can't just try to like be stubborn and say, I know this thing, but then you're not like making them understand this thing.
Yeah, so like I was just saying, like, you know, this is just me publicly like appreciating you for a very like amazing friendship. The sky is definitely your starting point. You go bigger from here, and you know, supporting you 100%. Can't wait to see what the future has for you, sis. Thank you so much for being on my podcast. Guys, this is the end of today's episode of My Superstory Podcast. I hope you enjoyed this information. You enjoyed the gist and conversation that we had today. Can't wait to come back for another amazing episode. And this is us live. Before I forget, shout out to our amazing host. This is Calm Art Restaurant, where we're currently sitting. All the information will be down below. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time. Bye.